Alright, in today's video I'm going to talk about cover art. In particular, I'm going to share 10 of my favorite PS2 game covers. Now, the main inspiration for this video came after I was cleaning my basement, where I found some old PS2 games, and it made me reminisce about the times when I went to my local game stores to buy games. Back then, having access to gameplay trailers was kinda limited, which meant that I sometimes had to base my purchases on the box art itself, and of course the back cover as well. Although nowadays I rarely think about cover art, which is kinda sad in itself, so I thought, hey, why not just share some of my favorite PS2 game covers? For this list there is no particular order, I'm just going to talk about some of my favorite game covers for the PlayStation 2. But before I continue further, I want to put out a disclaimer that I'm mainly going to talk about the PAL versions or the European versions, mainly because I'm from that region. Alright, first up we have the cover art of Xenosaga Episode 2. Now, the Xenosaga series tend to be forgotten nowadays, and it's more seen as the middle child in the Xeno franchise. Xenosaga Episode 2 might not be the best game in the Xenosaga series, but it definitely has my favorite cover art. What I like about this cover is that it is very clean, simple, and futuristic. At first glance you might think this game is some sort of a Wipeout spin-off or a racing game, but it's not. I've always had a soft spot for futuristic anime motorcycles and other types of vehicles, and when I first saw the cover it caught my attention immediately. The North American audience got a different cover art which looks alright, but I definitely prefer the PAL version, and if I'm not mistaken the PAL version kept the original Japanese cover art as well. Alright, next up we have the cover art of Ico. I believe many of you guys already know this cover, and it might be one of the most iconic PS2 video game box art out there, at least when it comes to the Japanese and the PAL version. What I like about this cover art is that it looks like a painting that you would normally see in a museum. You also don't get to see the faces of the main characters, which is something you always tend to see in cover arts. Here they're just two small silhouettes surrounded by massive structures, and it feels empty and isolating, which fits the theme of Ico. Now, I do feel bad for those that had to endure the North American cover, but at least they sort of fixed it for the HD Remastered on the PS3. Alright, next we have the cover art of Kingdom Hearts. Now, this cover art is definitely my favorite in the series. They did a similar cover for Kingdom Hearts 3, which looks cool, but nothing beats the magic of the first cover art, at least for me. What I like about this cover art is that it is dark and very mysterious. It is so unique and it grabs your attention immediately. Seeing Sora and his friends standing atop of a gargoyle looking up at the beautiful night sky with the harp-shaped moon in the background makes you wanna play and uncover the mystery behind this weird crossover between Final Fantasy and Disney. Next up we have the cover art of Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Now, the GTA franchise is known for having stylistic cover arts and they all look amazing. Out of all GTA games, I believe I've spent most of my time playing Vice City and San Andreas. But if I have to pick one cover art, then I would have to lean more towards Vice City, mainly because I like the Miami Vice / the 80s aesthetics a bit more. The thing is that I grew up watching reruns of old 80s shows like Knight Rider, MacGyver, Magnum P.I. and so on. And Vice City obviously encaptures that aesthetic beautifully. But that is not to say that the other cover arts are bad, because I do think GTA has one of the coolest cover arts out there. Alright, next up we have the cover art of Final Fantasy X. As I mentioned earlier, I'm from the PAL region, so we had the PAL covers of Final Fantasy which stayed true to the original Japanese design. What I like about the old Final Fantasy covers is how clean and minimalistic it is. The white background combined with the art from Amano is just perfect, and it really sticks out from the rest. Like, I remember as a kid walking into a game store and you would immediately notice Final Fantasy from a distance. If I'm not mistaken, there are 4 numbered or mainline Final Fantasy games for the PlayStation 2, and they all look great. But I decided to go with Final Fantasy X's cover art. What I like about this cover art is how well Yuna's sending dance flows with the Final Fantasy logo, and the water fits so well with the theme of Final Fantasy X. Next up we have the cover art of Soul Calibur 2. One of the cool things about Soul Calibur 2 was that each version got an exclusive character. The PS2 version got Heihachi, GameCube got Link, and Xbox players got to play as Spawn. And each version had its exclusive character on the cover art with a different colored logo, which added a nice touch. What I like about the PS2 cover is how well the blue color from the logo contrasts with the black and white lighting. Out of all the Soul Calibur cover arts out there, I do find this one to be the most unique. I haven't played Soul Calibur in such a long time, and seeing this awesome cover art makes you want to dive back into the world of Soul Calibur and wring out my opponents. Alright, next up we have the box art of Dragon Quest VIII. Now Dragon Quest VIII was the first Dragon Quest game I ever played. Back then I didn't know anything about Dragon Quest, and it was thanks to Akira Toriyama's beautiful artwork that caught my attention. Dragon Ball was probably one of my favorite mangas to read back then, and I also loved RPGs, so it was an instant buy for me. What I like about this cover art is that it captures the feeling of being on an epic adventure, like you're about to explore this incredible fantasy world of Dragon Quest. Akira Toriyama has such a unique art style, and I found his aesthetics to be really cool. Next up we have the cover art of Persona 4. Just like Dragon Quest VIII, Persona 4 was my first Persona game, and because of Persona 4 I became a big fan of Persona as well as SMT. I believe Persona 4 was like the game that introduced many people to Persona. The Persona series, in particular Persona 4, is known for its aesthetics, and the box art is no exception. There are a lot of vibrant colors, yellow being the main color theme of Persona 4. What I like about this box art is that it looks like a collage of different manga panels, which I really like. I believe Soejima was the art director for Persona 4, and you really get to see his art style in this cover art. Alright, next we have the cover art of Okami. It is no secret that Okami has such a cool aesthetic that is inspired by Japanese woodblock print. Okami is set in a classical Japan where you get to play as a white wolf that is based on Amaterasu, a goddess from Japanese mythology. What I like about the box art is that it captures the aesthetics of Japanese mythology and folklore beautifully, and the same thing can be said about the in-game shell-shaded graphics. Alright, last but not least we have the cover art of Zone of the Enders. As I mentioned earlier, I've always had a soft spot when it comes to anime sci-fi aesthetics, especially when it comes to mechas and other types of vehicles, and this cover art is no exception. Now there are a lot of things going on in this cover art, and some of you might think this is a bit too messy, but that didn't bother me at all. I really like how the orbital frame is off-centered, almost like it's dashing through the box. You also have your character blurred in the background with an old school skyline effect, which adds a nice touch. And we cannot forget the Metal Gear Solid 2 demo that came with it. Now the North American version got a different cover art, which also looks amazing and kind of resembles an anime/manga cover, which I really like as well. And there we go, 10 awesome PS2 game covers. Just looking at them makes you want to hit the time machine and play them again. There are a lot of great cover arts out there, and I've probably missed out a bunch of them. If that is the case, then let me know your favorite cover art in the comment section. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. I do videos on RPGs and anime related stuff. Consider subscribing if you're interested. More videos are coming, so stay safe, and I'll hopefully see you guys next time.